Welcome. Good evening. Live long and prosper. Yes, I am in Star Trek mode tonight. Hang on, just let me swap earpieces around. There we go. Not sure if we've got anyone on yet, but hello and welcome if you are. Good evening, Simon. Standing by to beam you up. Right, let's see if we get a picture on. Let's try this. Bear with me. There we go. Anyway, how are we all? Hope you're all good. Yeah, so this is let's just hang on a minute. That's better. I'm trying to get this set up right. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of Star Trek tonight. Some of you know me. I like a bit of Star Trek, and I thought, well, I haven't played this properly yet. I've glanced over it quickly. This is Star Trek Resurgence. It came out on Steam on a PC last May, I believe. I think it came out the year before on the consoles. So yeah, I hope you can hear me all right. I'm trying a new setting on the mic at the moment, so basically it should automatically dip the music a bit when I talk. So shouldn't have to do too many soundtracks. I'm hoping it works. So yeah. I shall pass your message on to Mrs. Synthmonkey. I'm not sure if she's on. She might be, I think she's in the other room playing Harry Potter at the moment, but I think we should start this from the beginning. I did try let's just delete that. Good, oh, nice one, thanks Simon. Hope you've got a beer on hand. I've just cracked open a, it's because it's Saturday night, you know, I've cracked open a, it's called Ultra Phase, and it was the closest thing I could find that had phaser on it. Sort of Star Trek related. I mean, they don't really do Star Trek beers, but it's bloody hell that strong. Oh, anyway. Hang on, what's going on here? Right, that's what I wanted. Begin. Probably some sort of intro now, I think. Ah, thanks, Mrs. Synthmonkey. From the room of below. Welcome on. I hope you're feeling better, by the way, Simon. I know you had a bit of the lurgy the other day. Yeah, water's probably better for you than what I'm drinking.
After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented...
So this is kind of like one of those it's one of those games where you
They're ready for something different.
let's turn that down.
I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them.
You choose the outcome of it as you're going along. It's kind of like you have to quickly choose an option.
It's the nature of the universe. Change is
The
inevitable.
graphics they look really cool, don't they?
Gives way to chaos. In this case, change is good.
Glad to hear you're 100% now. That's better. I've even got my Star Trek shirt on as well. Probably can't see it, but
to the Resolute.
I had to dress the part tonight. I haven't actually got a uniform shirt. I used to. Did I just admit that? Yeah, I did.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles?
So you've got to be quick with the options on this.
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
There's
Exactly.
a reason I'm not a pilot.
You should try it sometime.
Yeah, this is the Haynes Manual t-shirt.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour.
I have to say the graphics do look pretty good on this, don't
She's
they?
half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy. She'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Yeah, so here we are, Star Trek. I know it's not retro, but it's modern. So I thought, why not do something a bit modern today? I try and cover everything on the channel. That's a good bit of reverse parking there, isn't it? What do you think? Oh, I need the proper... I missed the old sound effects, though, from the original series. Okay, so... I'm not quite sure there's an option for that one yet, but I guess the more I play it, you never know. Okay, so I can interact with...
Starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintar's fire.
Which one was Captain Birdseye?
Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to...
Good evening, Captain Sean. Probably gonna... My hand's gonna be stuck like that on Monday now, I think.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds.
Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah, you have to actually interact. So you do have to sort of play something on here. Okay. Graphics are pretty cool, aren't they?
Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek?
I have got my Star Trek shirt on, Sean.
Absolutely crushed the Torvalin test.
Some sort of Star Trek shirt, anyway.
You finished in what, like the top 3?
Not going to live that one down, I can tell.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before.
It gives you a few seconds to choose the option.
Glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure's mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
Yeah, so it's the Haynes manual, Sean. So it's the Enterprise repair manual T-shirt, because we all need to know how to repair our Enterprise. I'm in the captain's seat, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Commander.
Yes, get out of the way, boy, sir, Admiral Ensign. I'm not quite sure what rank he was. how you walk faster.
If I remember my briefing,
Where the hell am I supposed to go
Commander
now
Owen
then?
is a Boolean, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
Someone with blue skin. It's got to be one over here. There he is, right in the back.
Excuse me.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermont.
Is the volume loud enough for you guys?
Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen.
He's a bit... It's Papa Smurf, isn't it?
We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier star
Ah, I see. I don't know why that is, Sean.
search vessel.
The internets are a funny place.
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the academy.
Ah,
Received the Starfleet Award.
enjoy, Mrs. Synthmonkey.
Most recently, tactical officer.
Going to play playing your Harry Potter downstairs.
You've done your homework?
Like I said, we're very lucky.
Try and combine both worlds somehow. That would be a bit strange.
The USS Resurgence. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own.
I didn't know if you had me on the loudspeaker, Sean,
She was nearly cracked in half, but
or on your TV.
for her life.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction, an
Didn't
accident.
know if you needed a cup of tea.
But
You know what I mean?
it's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but
That's a bit of a violent Harry Potter. I don't think they do that in Hogwarts School of Wizardry.
cost us our first officer and 22 of them. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
Well, I've got to choose these options quick.
Begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Julie, I think Sean might need a cup of tea.
There are some things you can't forget.
Cup of tea? Oh, he'd love a cup of tea. Actually,
Were you hurt
I'm not
by
having a
the
cup of tea
accident
tonight. I'm having a
and
beer.
malfunction?
Nothing worse than the loss of so many. Listen, I realize you've known Captain Solana for quite some time, and I'm sure you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Thank you.
Well, I'm trying to answer these
Sense for
questions.
what you're walking into.
I just thought you ought to know.
I appreciate it.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to
So I can explore the choices I've made.
brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention.
Did you get a cup of tea, Sean?
Working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
Stuck. I got just the thing.
Oh no. Whoops.
Hyperspanner does almost everything, except what I need right now.
Julie, Sean said he could make you a really good cup of tea. He's good at making teas.
Now,
I think you might have to make the first one though.
projector.
Sorry. Oh, right. So I've got to choose. Oh, I need to choose the correct. That's what I needed. A plasma torch. Sorry, Simon. It's a Sean. Sean needs a cup of tea, so I thought it's priority. You see. Anyway, so I need to blow off the whatever this is with my plasma torch, like some sort of. Oh dear. One lump or two, Sean. I have to spin my mouse around. Yes. Well, it's kind of like an interactive story. I think that's the way I'd describe this game. So now I've got to push the thing in and twist the mouse around to turn it and lock it back again. Like that.
Is that?
Magic. Yeah, you're making me feel bad now. I'm the only one drinking a beer tonight. Maybe I should have had a cup of tea instead. Better for me.
I thought the thing was totally fried. Nice work, Carter.
Nothing to it, Neely.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
Oh. Let's go to engineering. Oh, that's how you run. I was thinking, Christ, it's slow. Okay, so which way's engineering then? That's this way. Yeah, the graphics are very nice, aren't they? Well, you've made a bit of a mess there. Oop. Obviously can't run in this bit. Engineering.
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Trovok called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him.
No, I don't think you do. It's kind of like,
Manifolds.
as you can see here,
Orders are orders.
you've got like it's kind of like a story you follow,
Small mission.
and then you've got
Every
choices you have to make, and you interact with it as you go along.
Know what it is yet?
There must be certain points where you, from what I've read, that there are some sort of combat bits that you
Looks like
interact
we've
with.
been here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
But it's an interactive story, and you play
We
as
will
different
see,
characters.
Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Ed Solar on repeated occasions.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see to it that...
How's your tea, Sean?
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
I don't know, Simon.
The exterior of the hull.
I reckon you probably could. If I chose some, I might have a look at.
The subspace
I might be able to provoke them
interference we
actually
are experiencing
with the choices you make.
proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the
It's not like a simulator.
These differences are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
How concerned should we be about the storm? Are you worried?
Vulcans do not worry. We calculate the variables and take appropriate precautions to mitigate the risk. Right now, that entails making critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your...
Mind you, he's a Vulcan. He's not going to get any emotions, is he?
How'd you
Commander
that?
Chovak.
You know what Vulcans are like? These pesky Vulcans.
What's that?
All hands on
Oh,
deck.
I hope no one farts in the turbo lift.
You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule.
Won't get an argument from me, Nelly. Sure seems like everyone's still scrambling.
And I get it. When has a relaunch ever gone off without a hitch? But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa.
Slow down. It pushed me.
A lot of new
That was
faces
rude.
coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
We've been through a whole hell of a lot as a crew. They're gonna have to prove
I mean,
themselves.
I could sort of like start pissing people off in here a bit, you know, with the
Look serious.
choices. So you never know. I might be able to
Show me
punch
what
someone,
you can do
Simon.
when everything's falling apart.
I don't know if that was the actual outcome of the game. It's not really a beat 'em up,
Hold
but
Now there's an old face I didn't
I
expect.
did start playing this a little while ago. Actually,
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
it wasn't bad.
Miranda, you're here?
Quite a good story.
Staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I
Don't
would-
insult my ship.
Don't talk badly about one of the best ships in all of Starfleet.
We've rebuilt enough of her by now. She better be one of the best.
We'll see about that. But I am glad to be here. He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh,
So you
yeah, it's
basically you can't see that because my camera's
Maybe
in the way. But
Rustle up that
when you interact with a certain
Welcome.
character a certain way, you get a green box will pop up on the screen.
little spacewalk.
Obviously, that's a good thing, I suppose. Oh, need to put my hat on. Space hat.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go.
We're going outside, are we?
Side.
Activating magnetic souls.
We're going for a spacewalk, everyone. Sorry, didn't mean to hit that.
Have you never gets old.
I'm pleased, Sean.
Let's go.
The biscuit's always a good thing. You know, you can't go wrong with a biscuit. Oh dear. Did I get you in trouble? That's naughty, Simon. Naughty, Simon. You know, I don't know if they give you those options in this game. Oh, we're gonna. So this. Oh no, she's. She becomes the new captain, I suppose.
Momentarily.
What sort of biscuits were they, Sean?
You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Oh, we're just gonna go and look out the window then. Right. Oh, the classic rich teas. Can't beat the rich teas. We got a packet of those chocolate ones the other day. They do chocolate rich teas. They're actually quite nice. That's what you've all come in and tuned on for tonight. To talk about our choices of biscuits. Do I interact with the model train? Oh look, model train. What do I do with that
Still
then?
got a thing for trains. The warp engines of their day, apparently.
That's right.
All right, Eddie.
How many steam trains do warp
Last time
speed?
I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. The only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fan.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button.
I have to admit,
Whoops.
I was expecting something bigger.
It was one of the SWR fleet.
We'll see if
Simon.
we can make up for it somehow. As I'm sure you've heard.
Not a Great Western. Can't beat the GWR though.
6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
I heard that you had an equipment malfunction.
Is that what they're calling it? No, that's just someone being generous. If anything, it was a leadership malfunction. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there, within our grasp. Till it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. 2 previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hatari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater.
So basically, we're being sent into the eye of a storm, more powerful than anything on record.
Well, yes. But we're taking every precaution. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
There we go. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's happening there. I think it stutters a bit. Right, hopefully that works now.
It's been a dream.
How's that? Is that any better? Can you hear me?
I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come, let me introduce you to the crew.
Nice one. Yeah, I think I hit the wrong button. Does happen. Okay, so let's try and get outside this ship now. Nice one. We're on the bridge. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm yeah, just user error.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
It is kind of Star Trek story mode, isn't it? But
more than makes up for an ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Next we have Captain Andrew
Commander
Cooper.
Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant
I
Bedrosian,
don't think I'm captain.
who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad. Because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves. And you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done.
That's very kind of you to say, but enough about me. We have a lot of work to do.
Oh, yes, of course.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make...
He looks a bit cold, doesn't he?
...feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase.
Shouldn't say that.
Meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous.
Oh, come on.
The bridge is yours.
Ah, nice one. The bridge is mine now. Let's put the thing in warp chair. Let's go and sit in the captain's chair. Come on.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field.
Oh, this is a bit long-winded. Right.
X mode. Condition blue.
The storm is getting worse.
Of course, yeah, these dudes are out on deck now, aren't they? Spacewalking.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Well, like a time loop, Simon.
Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her.
That would, I don't know, I might
She's still
That might-
got some scars on her.
Could you imagine watching all that again?
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride.
I could start the stream again from scratch, but I think I might lose a few of you.
On the outside of the ship?
No.
Quite grateful that you've hung on so far, really.
Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the
I'm
machine.
hoping we can. I have to say, is the stories does
I mean,
seem pretty
Starfleet
good.
is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
Now, what are you complaining about? We got the best seat in the house out here. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go
Is
somewhere.
that carrying too many of those BNRs, Simon?
Look up at a sky no one's ever seen before.
Told you got to watch your back.
Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today.
Going all over those bridges all the time, mate. Yes. I had to walk like that the other day, but I think it's something I ate.
We are at the Sif emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Open sesame. Oh, now we've got to do the twirly thing with the mouse. W. What? I need the Ujimi flips. Calibration tool.
Beginning recalibration.
Could do with one of these at work, you know, Sean. Just make life a lot easier.
Careful. Too much action and harmonics will deflect the alignment.
Where are you supposed to put the bloody thing?
Light touch, Carter.
Do you know what, Sean? I'm going to get a hammer out in a minute. What the hell are you meant to do here? Maybe just move it. Oh, there we go. See, that wasn't too hard, was it?
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Yeah, I think a calibration tool I'd use would be a giant hammer,
Commander Westbrook.
as known as the technical adjusting stick.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I am the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
Well, I'm so glad you said that. Now I know exactly who to turn to when I have questions.
Questions are more Commander Ermont's territory. Captain Solano primarily
Good God,
relies
that's strong
on my
stuff.
knowledge and expert
Ultra phase.
answers.
It's 8.4%.
Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first given your vulnerable condition and all.
Cup of tea might have been better.
But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
Why is her ring glowing?
You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a
Oh, she's some alien that has a funny turn when her ring goes red.
but not outside the
Bit dodgy, isn't it?
That's very kind of you to be
You
concerned
want a red ring?
about well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect.
I've not tried one of those yet.
The shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to...
Yeah, I'm a bit funny with Guinness. Normally, when I'm out drinking a Guinness, it's got to be the draft, the can ones.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the Starbase,
I can't drink the original stuff.
An update on this ion storm we're flying into.
It's not right.
It's
but if it's the zero ones,
anything I've ever seen.
I think they've got a widget in the can still.
With the Resolute, we'll shrug it off.
Zero alcohol.
Putting ourselves at risk.
Might try one.
However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
Red alert. Yeah.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Holy shit.
Tracing
I don't know why I said that, but it looks a bit dodgy.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
I'm reading
Red alert.
Normalities.
Red alert.
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
All hands, brace for impact.
Shut down. We can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the
I didn't know that.
bubble, but it's a directional threat.
Interesting to
So
know,
we can
Sean.
orient all we have towards
Shortage
the
of...
wave.
Actually, no. Someone said that at work the other day. It might have been Dan.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
Shields up.
That's right.
Guinness shortage is a bad thing.
Power to our shields.
Bedrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Mission failed. Oh, bollocks. Okay, retry. Didn't do it in time.
Get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
That's what I did it wrong.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
The shields up this time. Those shields. Oh no, don't drop your pot of whatever it is. It's probably like Vulcan yogurt or something. She might have sat on a tea bag.
You'll experience a surge of radiation.
Just sat on a tea bag.
You don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
It needs to flush his plasma.
The ship.
Just tell us what you need.
Not flushed
I need
correctly.
you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
You never see toilets on Star Trek, do you? Always wondered how they go to toilet in the future. It's just one of those things, you know.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Hey.
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
How technical this is. Pulling these little levery things.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
I suppose when you've got to go, you've got to go, Simon. You just got to bear in mind that you've just remember what you've done in it when you take your suit off.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled.
And we all know how many years a Vulcan's got, don't we? He's got a left ear, a right ear, and a final front ear.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the
Go
discharges
get me coat.
coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Come on. Yep. Ah. Cool.
So we gotta climb up the
I've
pipe.
got to shoot these plasma fires in.
Really an up, but you know.
I don't have to do much, she's doing all the work for me.
We're almost to the regulator.
It doesn't let me, Simon. I've tried. Oh, crap. I think that might be game over if I did that.
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
Now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
You actually had to, I had to virtually lift that with the mouse. Like fully interactive this is. It's like a toilet flush. Come on. It's like winding the windows down on my old Renault 5.
Just reset to neutral.
Right, to grab control. Do.
EPS lines.
I guess that's it. All the force has got to be lined. Last film was no force in this. I don't know if that's supposed to happen.
Lost the docking clamp.
Nearly took my head off.
We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working?
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding...
We had this problem on Deep Space Nine, if I remember.
We've got crew
We had to get Odo to beam over.
a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Yeah, proper Trekkie here.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
The docking clamp isn't functioning. We're exploring our options.
The option is to detonate the emergency release.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I don't think he's very happy.
Jara?
All due respect, sir, it's a more complex situation than when you disembarked.
I need you to do the right thing. We can't have this go sideways before we even leave for the mission.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
I've got to be naughty.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to...
I've just pissed the captain off.
Yes, Commander.
Oh dear, I've disobeyed an order.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are
Promise not to do that at work.
polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Grab my hand! I got you.
Thank you.
Good job they didn't go to warp, isn't it?
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got
Get
it.
on board. E. You. That used to happen to the windows on my Renault 5 as well. I couldn't. It used to get stuck like that. It's like, come on. Oh dear. Obviously didn't have a warp reactor in there to worry about, but. Only got one button. Double. Oh, I see. It did work then.
Look out!
Well, that was close. You have to have quite quick reactions on that.
Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc to approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There's an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon.
Oh, yes.
Bring Miss Etzelar there.
We all remember that. Anyone who's had a Renault 5s can remember having to put your heating on to stop the thing from overheating. Yeah, we did talk about cars on the last one, didn't we? It's definitely another one of my...
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
I do like classic cars, though. When I mean classic, I mean anything that's before 2000, basically. It's not really classic, is it? But... 1980s, 1990s.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, talking of cars, Simon, have you seen that they've re-released the Renault 5? Go and have a look. Talking of Renault 5s. It's not got a lot to do with Star Trek, but it does look kind of Star Trek-y inside, though. It's electric, but it actually looks really cool.
We made it.
They're safe, bringing the Sif fully online.
Do it.
We're gonna go to warp now. Oh no, he's probably gonna get a bollocking from the captain now.
Nilly.
I'm good. Help me with him.
Ooh,
Let's
I
get
don't
this
think I'll
off.
buy that one again.
Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter.
I agree.
So
You need that 1.4 turbo in it, Simon. It was the sound, wasn't it?
You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Great.
I think someone's turned all the lights out in here.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Oh, she's gonna get it now. Why did you disobey an order? Naughty, naughty, naughty.
You disobeyed my orders.
There you go.
Well?
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the
You
information I had.
disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around.
Oh dear.
My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew.
That's right.
Trust me.
Naughty captain.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt.
Well, he's not very happy now. You
Lieutenant,
better make him a cup of tea, love.
already bent my
Give him some
ear.
biscuits.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are.
Yeah, tea and biscuits. Sorts everything out.
And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So,
Hey, it's all right in the end, isn't it?
we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and we'll set out for Hatari.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's been fairly uneventful, really. I suppose the next one we'll try Star Wars, I think. I mean, you do get a bit more action with Star Wars. But Star Trek, I mean...
We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment
Can't beat it.
right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit, everyone.
Oh, you can, Simon. Absolutely.
Not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first.
God knows how big this game is. I mean, and from what I've heard, it is actually very big.
Disengage docking clamp.
I mean, it's more of a story type, interactive story. But from what I saw, what I've read, there are some combat
Thrusters ahead.
bits in this, which look pretty good. As in ship-to-ship combat. But yeah, you can get lost in this game for hours. Being a bit of a Star Trekker, a bit of a Trekkie, I would say that's a what class of ship is that? That like Reliant class. I'm sure someone from the Star Trek world may let me know.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system.
Engage.
Ready to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what?
Oh, I'm going to say it. Punch it. Do it. Engage. Make it so.
Engage.
Pull the choke out. There we go.
Simple, but effective.
Dear.
Easy.
Thank you. I'm fine. Really.
You don't look so good.
No, she's having a funny turn. Take it, that means she's got to get the sick bay.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Space sickness. Must be that curry you ate at lunchtime. Out of the replicator. Never eat out of the canteen. I think she's had a curry out of the canteen. She's got the space shits. Ships. Not
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're
rare. I know.
That's dangerous, Simon.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers...
Just hope that message clears off the screen soon.
efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Deridium.
Anything out of the canteen is very bad.
You joined Starfleet.
I have to agree with that one.
I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
I don't like the attention it brings. Being
I reckon she's been eating out the same canteen.
But you are different. That's not something you can change.
True. But sometimes it makes it even more difficult than it already is.
And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further...
I reckon you're going to be on baked beans on toast for the rest of the month now, Simon.
Discovery. Major innovation. Something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing long to take. People become blinded by their own ambition. I've seen it happen before.
We all have to chase our dreams, don't we? We need to take some risks. Isn't that why we joined Starfleet?
But not at the expense of other people's lives. It's too high a price to pay. And I have to give you credit for what
It's
happened.
kind of like an interactive movie in a way, isn't it?
Guts to defy a director.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship, and everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
And my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me. I understand. I'm just glad you're okay.
I thought she said that as well.
Earlier with the shields, and I
You
appreciate
never know.
that.
It's a small ship.
I want you to know that I have your back.
It's a small shit.
Thank you.
Now, Carter, the emissions that gave you that burn are quite unusual, like everything else that goes with this storm. That's a combination of hyronolin and lectrazine to counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing. She's come by a couple of times to see you already. Be brief.
My soundboard's not working right tonight. That's a shame.
I was starting to get
That'll
worried.
teach me.
Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duvall. You did take one hell of a shot, though.
You know what she's after, don't you?
Thanks for that.
She wants a cup of tea.
Benefits of working a security rotation. Lots of
I
opportunities.
reckon they've all had the same curry on here, you know? They've all been eating out of our canteen.
Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to.
I know they make you fart.
I was away, and I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you, instead of tiptoeing around it.
It's okay, Miranda. You can tell me anything.
I know that.
Then come on. Just spit it out.
They both want a cup of tea, don't they? And some biscuits.
Let me talk. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
This is all kind of unexpected.
I didn't expect this either. But here we are. And I didn't want to ignore it. I just figured...
It's going to be one mess in that ship, I'll tell you.
Well, what do you think?
I'd hate to empty the septic tanks out on that. Oh, whoops. Oh, dear.
Erect as I can stomach.
Yeah, that's might as well...
I like you too, Miranda.
Oh, dear.
This goes.
Okay. I was...
Yeah, I'm not...
You'd say that.
Sorry.
I might have to give this game a bit more time, I think. I'm not sure about it. It's all right.
To get back to his old self.
I was hoping for it was going to be a bit more sort of command and action type. I suppose in a way it is, but it's you're interacting with all the storylines.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Oh, Spaceballs. That's a great film.
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
I know that's not what you meant, but I was just thinking of the film Spaceballs.
Shield integrity holding. We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise.
Locate the
Environmental signals.
shuttlecraft.
I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
There we go.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
Signal's breaking up. She's only got 4G.
I can't get it any clearer.
We're not doing this for money. We're doing this for a shitload of money.
We'll pull them.
Pizza the Hut. Oh dear, classic film.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, so am I supposed to
Come on, Diaz.
Oh, I've got to work out all this. I'll learn the software now.
Lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Just got to there we go. Lock onto that.
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
We can collect some samples. Whoops. Scratch the paint. That's the alloys. I've scuffed the alloys, Simon. I haven't got any hard drives on me either.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz, the bridge. There's a large
An out-of-box failure.
shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it. Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17.
I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm just pressing the button. Just pressing one button and see what happens. Recovery sorts it out all the time. I can't do it though because I haven't got any. I haven't got one of the parts on board. And the other one's an out-of-box failure. Oh look, I've rescued it. Yeah, look at that. I pulled the shuttlecraft in from outer space.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Luke. Wrong one.
Terra firma, so to speak.
It's Spock.
Ambassador Spock?
It's Spock.
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Well, let me be the first to say, welcome to the Resolute, Ambassador.
Thank you, Petty Officer,
Carter? Carter Diaz. Sir.
Shame it wouldn't have been Leonard Nimoy because he passed away a few years ago now, didn't he? But
it appears I have you to thank for my safe arrival. Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon, if I may say so.
All in a day's work, Ambassador. This is what I'm here for.
Quite dutifully. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space.
Oh, I must have upset him.
My
I didn't think you could upset Vulcans.
For such...
I've got a red box around him, so you've obviously said something he didn't like.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
I'd rather investigate than speculate.
A sound principle.
Take readings.
Very logical.
Some additional diagnostic checks.
Gotta be logical to a Vulcan.
Quite logical, Petty Officer Diaz. Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind. Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past. But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Lydians have shared a mining operation there. The Lydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operation.
Space invaders.
And expelled the Lydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Have the Elydians retaliated against the Hotari? Or taken any action against them?
Surprisingly,
yes, this is very long-winded, isn't it?
They were open to a Federation presence.
I can
unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari
can either do a part 2 of this
against the Elydian fleet in open
or something different next time. I mean, I could probably do something different next time and then come back to this again.
Result in more bloodshed
on a part 2 type thing if I save it here.
And the dilithium.
I'm probably going to wrap the stream up in about sort of 5 to 10 minutes.
Exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can
just because it's
more profitable.
I didn't realize it was going to be quite as long-winded as it is.
Profited from the mine.
It is good.
And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing.
The Hotari just won their independence. It's hard to believe they would give that up just for profit.
I agree. It would be exceedingly difficult to bring the Hotari to...
Yeah, so let me know what you think.
Neither the Elydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Elydians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Iridium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than...
No problem at all, Simon.
We can't let it come to that.
Absolutely fine. Yeah, no, thanks very much for coming on tonight.
And the ambassador shuttle. We have
yeah,
to
it's been a good one. Sorry it's a bit long-winded, but yeah, appreciate you coming on, and yeah,
disturbance temporary.
We'll catch up again next time.
Commander,
have a good night, won't you?
Correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past, but they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna wrap this up in a sec because it's a lot longer than I thought. It's a slow-paced game, isn't it?
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving.
Definitely going to give it a good shot, though.
Commander
West does look pretty cool.
I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
Well, hopefully it'll let me save.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
I thought he was going to go live long and prosper. Live long and prosper, Simon.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an
yes, live long and prosper, Sean.
Officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek.
Till the next time. Thank you very much for joining.
Behind the scenes.
I'm going to call this a night, I think. Let's see if I can save. I think it should let me save this. Yeah, anyway, thanks everyone for joining in tonight. I'm going to call it a night. We'll probably come back to this as a part 2 and another stream later on. Or may get to a point where I've got some combat in it. But yeah, no, it was good to see it anyway. But yeah, thanks for joining in. And as always, we'll catch up again on another stream. Oh, let's just cancel that. Yeah, there we go. Okie dokie. I shall see you again. Bye for now. I can't do it. My fingers have gone. See you later.